Hi everyone, it's Alex Harrington Griffin, CEO of Trusted Land. I'm here with Umberto from Compass Engineering, and we want to talk very quickly about one of your projects you're working on in Walton-on-Thames, which is an area I know very, very well. And I want to talk specifically about the value that you're bringing to the scheme. So Umberto, if you can tell us a little bit about the project and what your role is in this 7 units, I understand.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. Thanks for the opportunity. Yeah, the project is the construction of 7 units, 7 dwelling houses in Walton-on-Thames. It's an existing industrial site and with relatively high water table, but relatively good soil strata. The construction started in May this year, so in the middle of the lockdown, and the first 5 houses have just been finalized. 5 of them sold already.
Awesome.
It's very good. The areas where we felt we added value was by the proactive communication and constant collaboration with the architect and the client during the design process. That was from the start. One of the main factors of success was this constant proactive approach to solutions, from the instructions from the client and the instructions from the architect. We assisted the client in the production of bespoke soil investigation for the sites, because what tends to happen, Alex, we've seen several times that when we're appointed to a project, we already have a soil investigation already done. And we feel that sometimes the soil investigation parameters are inadequate for the project. Sometimes because the soil investigation is part of a planning application, and we feel that further testing is required. So we add value by providing a bespoke soil investigation and avoiding additional testing that wasn't required for these sites. Every project is different, every site is different, as you probably know, and these soil investigations sometimes can be very pricey.
I'm going to ask you an important question there, if I can do, just because it's something that I was always curious about. I presume soil investigation can be very much a tick box exercise. We've got it in for planning, it's done. And I suppose in some cases, developers won't take that extra level of checks and detail to make sure they understand what exactly they're building on. Is that correct?
Correct. For us, it's the most important part of the puzzle, because ultimately all the loads are transferred to the ground. So if we don't have enough ground information, we have to make assumptions. Those assumptions can be sometimes costly. So for a soil investigation, which can vary from 1,000 to, depends on the site, from 1,000 to 5,000 pounds, 10,000 pounds, then the savings can be significant. So we had to do some further testings on this site because of some concerns from the Environment and Health Department within the planners. As an industrial site, they had some concerns of some mild contamination. So during construction, further testing was carried out, and the initial proposal from ourselves was to have a beam and block ground floor solution with ventilated voids. We were in the middle of a lockdown. The developer mentioned to us, it's going to be really hard to get the beam and block designed and delivered on time. Can you be flexible enough to work on a ground bearing slab? So in parallel, the soil investigation was being carried out, getting the results, and it turns out that there was a mild level of contamination. So we had to work on a solution for a ground bearing slab, providing a suitable gas membrane who could provide protection for gases and also moisture resistant to protect the reinforcement within the slab. So that was very good. So it's that flexibility. They were really happy we could turn the design around and let them move on with a ground bearing slab. Once we received this, once we received the soil investigation, the client wanted to avoid piling. Can we please go for the trench foundation option? The high water level meant that we had to be really careful where we located the foundation. So it was a careful coordination exercise as well, so that we don't compromise on the finishes or the head heights of the ground floor in relation to the foundations. So we avoided the piling and we finalized the design with trench footings. We felt that because materials were really difficult to get from some suppliers during lockdown, we specified the typical traditional materials: timber, timber rafters, timber floors, steels where possible, without defying too much the laws of physics. So he was very pleased with the choice of materials that we had. It was also very positive that the developer was really proactive during the process, and also he understood that we had some projects in the pipeline, so they only requested queries when they thought it was really necessary. So it really helped us a lot to work with them.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you added a lot of value there, and you probably found quite a good client to work with on an ongoing basis. So thank you very much for sharing with us. For anyone else who's looking at projects at the moment and wants to make sure that they are structurally sound, they're building on the right kind of conditions as well, definitely have a chat with Umberto and Compass Property Engineering. Thanks, Umberto.
Pleasure.